want to introduce now. Thank you so much, Neil, for that. I feel less smart, but I do know who to call if I do have questions. Next speaker, obviously, Uncle Spliffy, Mr. Cliff Robinson. There's a few facts that I think you need to know that if you're a Blazer fan, you're a basketball fan, if you're a sports fan, you'll know these, and if you're not, you're going to in a minute. Can anybody name how many games he played in his career? A lot is right. 1,380 games. 4 times the NBA average number of years, 18 seasons. He is 8th in all-time games played. That's pretty fantastic. 17 of his 18 years he was in the playoffs, and he also participated in Survivor. Did you win? Well, he didn't. All right, well, Mr. Cliff Robinson, hold on, I'm gonna take a selfie, so everybody, you're supposed to photobomb this, okay? There you go, all right.
There we go. I think that'll work. Good morning, everybody, and take this up. And welcome to the Cannabis Collaborative Conference. I want to take this time to thank Mary Lou Burton for putting such her and her team. We need to give her a hand of applause for putting this conference together. She's done a wonderful job. A little bit about myself. I'm from Buffalo, New York. I'm a huge Bills fan, and I've always been a part of teams. And I want to thank you for welcoming to this team, because this is probably going to be the most important team that I'll ever be a part of. You know, when I was growing up in Buffalo, I learned to have the team mentality and set goals quite early in my life. You know, as we all know, growing up in a household, we all had chores that we were responsible for doing, and my mother, she's a hard-working woman. I grew up in a hard-working family. She grew up working on farms in Florida. My stepdad was had military background, so they always kept us busy with chores. I mean, there wasn't a chore that we did not do around the house. Pick up after the dog, do the laundry, cook for the family. There was always a chore for us to do. And there was one that there was quite a couple that I didn't like. You know, during the summers, my family would come up from Florida, and we would work on they would come up to Buffalo, New York, and work in the strawberry fields. And that was one of the jobs that I was responsible for doing in the summertime. I don't know if any of you have picked strawberries. You might have did it for fun. You might have went out there and picked a couple strawberries for fun. Oh, I'm gonna go pick strawberries today. But you didn't have to get up every morning during the summer and go out there and pick strawberries, which I wasn't good at doing. But I used to go out there quite a bit. My family was tolerant of me. They let me take up a seat in the vehicle, even though they knew I wasn't going to do much out there. They called me One Flatter-Day Cliff, which stuck to this day. My uncle, when he sees me, he still calls me One Flatter-Day Cliff. But anyway, it really developed my mentality for setting goals. You know, from from the strawberry field, I had to, if I wasn't in the strawberry field, I was working with I had to work with my stepdad who had rental properties around Buffalo. So if it wasn't strawberries, it was doing carpentry work, which I didn't like either. So I started setting goals for myself by trying to figure out how am I going to get away from the strawberry field and how am I going to get away from swinging this hammer. So I started playing basketball. And that's when my mother started saving me a little bit, because during the strawberry, so I was always a mama's boy. So when I did go to the strawberry field, when I had to go to the strawberry field, I would always look at my mother like, please save me today, not today. But she would never save me. She was like, go ahead, go get it done. When it was time for that van to leave to go to the work on those homes, go get it done. And I always wondered why she wouldn't save me. But I think she was trying to teach me a lesson. She was trying to teach me to find my way. In which I began to do that by playing basketball. I started playing, started getting serious about it. People started taking notice. And little by little, my mother started stepping in for me. Oh, you don't have to go today. You got a basketball tournament. You don't have to go today. And I was so happy, because I would look at my brothers and my cousin as the van was rolling off to go to the strawberry field or go work on one of those homes. And I looked at their faces and they were just like, oh my God, you punk, I can't believe you. As I was outside looking at them, dribbling the basketball. But, for me, it didn't start, my whole vision didn't start by saying, oh, I'm gonna make it to the NBA. Because no one can, there's so many different things that could go wrong. My peer and Antonio Harvey can attest to that. But anyway, once I started playing, I started setting little goals for myself, and I think that's what we all should do as businesses, continue to set little goals for ourselves. My first goal was to try to make the JV team. I was able to make the JV team. And from there, it was okay, let me try to make the varsity. So I was able to make the varsity. And then I started getting some letters from different schools, and I was, okay, well maybe I can go to a college from here. And from there, it just continued to grow. As I got to UConn, I ran into academic issue where I had to sit out. But I brushed myself off and I continued to move forward. I seen that I was getting some notice by the NBA. I was excited about that. But I continued to set goals. I continued to learn about being a good teammate. And I think, we all have to make sure that we're being good teammates in this business, because I think that's really what it's going to take for us to take the cannabis industry to the next level. We are in a unique position to lead the way, and I take that very seriously to be part of such a groundbreaking industry. This is bigger than you and I. This is bigger than you and I. We have a responsibility to do it right. We have a responsibility to make sure it's done responsibly. We have obligation to make sure that it's not getting in the hands of children. We have a lot of goals that we need to set for ourselves. We need to set a high bar for ourselves, guys. This is, we definitely need to, because the big picture is, yes, we all want to make money. We all want to make money in this industry, but we also want to make sure that we do it right. And we're that model that the other states are looking at across the country. I think that's extremely important for us to do that, because we all have big aspirations in this business, and we all want to achieve them. But we must continue to look at the goals. The goals are what's important. Set small goals for yourself. I'm going to continue to set small goals for myself, as I did as a basketball player. I'm going to try to continue to take that same mindset into this business venture that I'm starting. So I'm going to try to be a good teammate to all of you. I'm going to try to be a good teammate to all of you. I'm going to try to help everyone in here achieve their goals, and I'm sure you're going to try to help me achieve mine. And in turn, us trying to achieve our goals, we must not forget about the OLCC and what they've done to try to help us roll this out in a positive manner. So please, let's give the OLCC a hand. Because I'm sure they have goals that they want to reach, and I think with us setting goals for ourselves to do it responsibly, to do it to do it with a lot of class. I think that's really what we have to look at. We have to try to do this with a lot of class, and I appreciate you guys letting me come up here and speak with you and sharing a little bit about myself, but it's really not about me. It's about the team, and I think we need to definitely make sure that we keep that in mind. I wanted to say it is Team Oregon. At the end of the day, it is Team Oregon, but it's much bigger than that. But at the end of the day, let's make sure we're doing it right, folks. I appreciate your time.